Yeah. We don't have to talk too much about college, but college was very fruitful for you. It was a good thing.
Yeah, because I was in the service first, and I was I was I had a sense of mission. Essentially, I wanted to I was turned on to the black movement because after my cousin got shot, I got shot.
You had an incident. Somebody shot you, almost killed you, right?
Right. In fact,
did that radicalize you?
Oh yeah. In fact, I got shot in '68. My cousin got shot in '64, I was shot in Georgia in the abdomen with 38, so it was pretty close, man.
The bullet still in you?
Bullet's still in me. Yeah.
Bullet's still in you?
Yeah. So,
damn.
So that radicalized me. Before then, I had been moving toward the Black Power movement, man, because in the service, that's where I met some of the most radical brothers I've ever met, man, in the war, as we used to say, and that turned me around. There was a lot of racial solidarity, a lot of rhetoric of racial solidarity there. I did a lot of reading, and so by the time I got out of the service, man, I was kind of a raging militant after being shot by this white guy in Georgia. And so as soon as
and you just assuming it's shot for no reason.
Well, not really. I mean, I provoked the guy.
Okay. Well, you were young.
I was young, and I was infatuated with Black Power, with the Black Power movement, and I was in Georgia. You know what I'm saying? And that's a combustible combination. And so I was at this motel basically for young guy reasons.
Yeah, of course.
And I got boisterous because I thought that they were treating me racistly.
It's the South and it's Georgia.
Exactly.
What did you expect?
Exactly right.
You forgot where you were, right?
Precisely. So I got boisterous, and he just showed me what time it was, as we used to say then. And so that helped radicalize me. That accelerated my radicalization. And by the time I left the service, man, I was like I said, I was raging. I burned my uniform before I caught the plane in my room. I guess they found out later on that I made a bonfire in my room of my uniform. So that's I was trying to make a gesture of defiance, So when I got out of the service and came home, the first thing I did was I went to the Black Panther Party headquarters, and
in Harlem,
in Jersey City.
Jersey City.
Yeah, and hooked up there. That was the most powerful chapter of the Black Panther Party in that part of the country. It was even more powerful than New York at the time. Certainly more powerful than Newark. I don't even know if they had a Black Panther Party office in Newark, because Newark was a cultural nationalist haven. Baraka and a lot of that was going on. So I became a member of the Panther Party for a while, and did a lot of stuff with them, which I later became. It later seemed to me to be more concerned with expression more than any serious programmatic work, dealing with our psychological, trying to expunge these kind of problems, and like when I was involved with a tutorial program in Jersey, where we tutored children, school children, and we hooked them up with medical care. It was really a full service kind of.
Via the Black Panthers.
Yeah, under the auspices of the Black Panthers. But the way we financed it was by donations from folks in the neighborhood, from businesses in the neighborhood. But they really weren't donations, man. We essentially were extorting folks.
It was donate or else.
Exactly, and that's not sustainable. You can't sustain a revolution on that kind of fundraising method, you know. But I used to see these other cats who were quiet. They didn't bother anybody. They were very serious going about building their own independent institutions, and that was the Nation of Islam. And it was very attractive to me because we used to talk about creating a new black man and black woman through revolution. That's how you create new people, through revolutionary changes in society that would produce these new people. And I looked at the Nation of Islam as well. These are the new people that we want to become. They're serious about family formation. They're serious about economic solidarity and economic development and educational achievement. What more can we ask for? Why are we looking somewhere else? And here it is, right here. So that kind of logic eventually won out. And then there was one incident really that cemented it for me. Because in the Panthers, we were pretty confrontational toward police. And one time I was in a parking lot in Newark, in a police parking lot. I was cutting through, which I knew I wasn't supposed to do, but I thought, well, no big thing. And anyway, a cop caught me. And man, he came at me real hard. Like, he didn't quite say nigga, but he was close. He was snarling at me. And normally, as a Panther, man, man, what you mean, punk? That kind of thing. But I thought about what I had heard at a mosque meeting earlier that I had attended earlier that week. Some cat had been fishing and picked me up and took me to the meeting. And the minister focused on you don't have to confront people. Confronting people is really it comes from a sense of powerlessness. You see that as your only alternative. There are better ways to change the situation to benefit you if you are aware of the context and weigh things and do it in an intelligent way. And I thought a little bit about that as this cop was berating me and how the messenger author said that these people are in charge. They have dominion. Give them that. Respect that. And when I acted respectful toward his power, his attitude changed immediately. I said, "Yes, sir, officer. I realized I was in error, and I really appreciate you not being more brutal with something like that." And he was absolutely flummoxed by my response, and so he changed and became respectful to me. Boom, the light went on in my head. I said, man, you can manipulate the expectations of the mainstream to your benefit if you do it with a serious and insightful way, understanding the context.
Yeah, but when you're a 20-year-old, a teenager, you think that's being weak.
Exactly right.
Yeah,
exactly. You need that. Yeah. To maintain your sense of power. With the nation, though, they you don't need it because they have a sense of their own power. You know what I mean? So you don't have to. You're content with where you're standing. You don't have to try to increase your sense of status because your status is assured where you are. And after that, man, I was at the mosque every Sunday,
Yeah. Did you ever go out? Did you ever hang out in mosque number 7?
Oh yeah, that's Farrakhan's mosque.
Yeah.
Farrakhan was the center of a lot of orbits, man. At that point,
wow,
very strong in New York City, man. There were radio programs with his acolytes who had disc jockeys. They would play the latest jams, and then play a Farrakhan lecture after that relates to it. I mean, that's how deeply he was interwoven into.
I didn't know he was that big back in the day.
He was big, man, very big.
But this is before or after Malcolm X.
This is 70s.
Okay, this is of course after 5 years after Malcolm.
Yeah, after Malcolm.
Wow, that would make sense. Yeah.
Yeah, and
so the Malcolm days you missed.
I missed them, but I still caught a lot of them because I came in the Nation of Islam at mosque number 25. and that was the mosque that hatched the assassins of Malcolm X. That's where the assassination plot began, and some of the most anti-Malcolm folks were at Mosque 25, very notorious mosque in the Nation of Islam.
So when you got there in the '70, he was a hypocrite. He was hated.
Oh, he was very, very strongly hated. He was still the chief hypocrite. Seething hatred for Malcolm still vibrated from that mosque, and so yeah, it was very strong.
Did you ever get lucky meeting the messenger at the time?
I never met the messenger, but the messenger, I got a call. That's why I'm in Chicago. I got a call from Elijah Muhammad when things were. It was after we had kind of agreed that I would join the Nation, but it wasn't. It hadn't been solidified yet. In fact, I was still wondering what had happened because I was working for the Associated Press and I was a stringer for Muhammad Speaks. So I write a lot of pieces. In fact, I was the North Bureau chief for Muhammad Speaks. But I was also at the same time writing for Associated Press.
Did the AP know this?
They didn't know it. No, they didn't know it.
I was about to say.
They thought I was this conservative black man who with closely cropped hair. And
Real square.
Real square. They thought they didn't know it.
You wasn't. They know it was a threat. You was radical.
Oh man, I would go home and change my persona and become. I would become the X.
Super X.
Yeah.